in a state where tuition is handled by surrender. That dividend, she only see when she feels obligated. Admitted it to me the first time we dated, but she was no angel and we never waited. I took her for sushi, she wanted it, so we took it to go from them, don't even play it, and we never talked too much after I blew up. It's only hello, happy belated, and I think I texted her and told her I made it, and that's when she texted me and told me she prayed it, and that's when I texted her and told her I love it, and right after texting her and told her I'm saying she asked, what have I learned from getting rich? I learned working with the negatives to make for better bitches. I learned fantasy and enemies is one hell of a mixture, even though it's young, girl, I'm still getting rich and damn. Is it the fall? Time for me to revisit the past. It's living in cars. I'm just dropping, looking at calls and stories to tell. We've been through it all. Interviews and like confessions. Getting about my dress on room. Refusing me with questions like, do you love this shit? Are you high right now? Do you ever get nervous? Are you single? I heard you. Girl, is it true? You get money? You think that you witness with you? And I say, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. You're right, alright. We say, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. You're right, alright. So much for being optimistic. They say love is in the air, so I hold my breath till my face turn purple. Keep you badges in my circle. My niggas ain't like ain't no curfew. Different way than I was certain. I project. She was commercial, but we still met. Living in night. After my session, she came over. I was directing and she was sober. I didn't go good. She started confessing and started her dressing and asked me to hold her. That's all I did, but that was last month. And now she's texting me acting with closure. Then she say that she gon' catch up to me. I keep pushing table. We eat each other whenever we at the dinner table. She said she hated that she loved me and she wish I was average. And sometimes I wish the same and I wish she wasn't married. Promises, I hope I never break them. Ran a female track, had a funny conversation, but interviews are like professions. Get the fuck about my bedroom, confusing me with questions like, do you love this shit? Are you high right now? Do you ever get nervous? Are you single? I heard you. Girl, is it true? You get money? You think that you witness with you? And I say, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. You're right, alright. We say, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. You're right, alright. We say, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. You're right, damn right, alright. We say, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. You're right.
women's basketball game presented by Murphy's Pharmacy. Today featuring the Mount St. Vincent University Mystics versus your Holland College Hurricanes. In the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge that the land upon which we gather is unceded Mi'kmaq territory. Epic Mi'kmaq is covered by the historic treaties of peace and friendship. We pay our respects to the indigenous Mi'kmaq people who occupied this island for over 12,000 years. We now ask that you please rise if you are able, remove your hats, and remain standing for the playing of our national anthem.
Good Sunday afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the MCCE in downtown Charlottetown on the campus of Holland College as we get set for second game in as many days between these two teams, visiting Mount St. Vincent University Mystics and the hometown Holland College Hurricanes as we get set to introduce the starting lineup, starting with the visiting Mystics. Story of the game yesterday, Kelsey Matheson, who you see on your screen there, got her first start of the year yesterday and lit it up with 17 points. Emma Empringham, also on the screen, had 18 points and 13 rebounds in a 16-point Mystic win yesterday. And for the hometown Hurricanes, one change to the starting lineup from yesterday. Riley McDonald coming into the starting five after coming off the bench yesterday and putting forward a pretty solid defensive game. So she earns the start. Nadia Barrington was the story of the game yesterday. She had 16 points and 9 rebounds for the Hurricanes in the loss. Got a lot of her points on fast breaks coming into the zone. Hurricanes will have to cut down. They had over 30 turnovers in the game yesterday, as did Mount St. Vincent, but the Mystics were just able to capitalize more on the miscues that the Hurricanes had. And that was an 86-70 final, and we are going to keep an eye on out-of-town scores here today as well. And then Allison and Crandall playing right now. That game is important for the Hurricanes because a Mount A win with a Holland loss today would tie those two teams in wins. And you'll hear me say it throughout the broadcast, Holland College does have the tiebreak over the Mounties, winning the season series 2-1, and it's an early turnover for the Mystics. Again, we saw a lot of turnovers for both teams yesterday. Mentioned it was a 16-point Mystic win. It never really felt like the game was that out of reach until the final couple of minutes for the Hurricanes. And Barrington quickly into the corner for George. Thought about a long two. Now she'll walk in. That layup goes up, and it's rebounded there by Kelsey Matheson. Mentioned her off the top. Again, her first start yesterday, going back-to-back here this weekend in Charlottetown. There's Empringham goes up with it, stripped there by Nevaeh O'Connell. O'Connell averaging over 10 points a game, but has struggled here in the last couple of weekends at home in terms of scoring. But still an important player on this Hurricanes team. Empringham takes the inbound, watched by O'Connell. Empringham backs in, spins, shoots, rims out, and there's Nakiva Brown with a strong defensive rebound. And she'll look to charge in. Dishes it over into the corner to Riley McDonald. Again, didn't start yesterday, but back in the starting five today. She turns it over. So again, a couple of turnovers early here after both teams struggling in that department yesterday. Here's Victoria Strickland for 3, the Mystics' leading scorer, well short of the mark that time. Strickland averaging over 14 points a game, had 20 yesterday. Again, that leads the team. O'Connell picks up the dribble, gets it over to Carissa George. George quickly down low for Barrington. Back up top for George. What a pass there by Barrington. But George turns it over in the paint, and McDonald with the steal. Barrington's got it all alone underneath the hoop, goes up for the layup, and the Hurricanes draw first blood just over a minute into this one as the team's trading turnovers just like they did through much of yesterday. Strickland goes in, and O'Connell's going to be called for the block. And Jordy up here in the booth showing us the flurry of action in the Hurricanes' offensive zone. McDonald forcing the turnover and Barrington the recipient, and we said that a few times yesterday as well. Strickland gets the Mystics on the board with her first free throw attempt of the game. And free throws were a big difference in the game yesterday. It wasn't until late in the third quarter that Holland College really had their first shooting fouls called against Mount St. Vincent. As Barrington into the corner again. McDonald for 3, off the mark, and the rebound bounces its way to Victoria Strickland. Strickland guarded very closely by Carissa George, and George is going to get called for the reach.
Hurricanes foul number 14, Carissa George, her first, team second of the quarter.
So a couple of fouls early here for Holland College. We're 90 seconds into the game. Handoff there to Kazadra Smith. Quiet game for her yesterday. She got into foul trouble early. Here's Kelsey Matheson. Breakout game yesterday. Dishes it to Smith. Can't get the bounce, and Barrington gets the rebound but loses the handle on it. And Smith, again, mentioned she was in foul trouble early yesterday. Gets her first one in the first couple minutes here again today. So something to watch again early here for Mount St. Vincent. Barrington takes the inbound, gets it over to George. George gets around Smith into the middle for O'Connell. Down low for McDonald, too hot for her to handle. It was a great look by O'Connell from half court. And we saw that a lot yesterday as well. A lot of long passes. Holland College trying to break through the pressure of Mount St. Vincent. Here's Smith through in a hurry. Blocked there by Barrington, but Barrington will get called for the foul. Doesn't like the call, but Barrington, the league leader in blocks currently. And Kazadra Smith can break the tie with a couple of free throws here. Does just that, Mount St. Vincent pulls ahead. Rims out on the second attempt. Barrington battling for the rebound, and it's off of Jenna Matheson and out. O'Connell once again breaks the pressure, dishes it off to the side. Brown for 3. Nakiva Brown doesn't get the bounce she wants. Battles for the rebound though, takes it away from Matheson. Misses the follow-up attempt. As once again, both teams struggling with some turnovers early on here. Matheson in the paint, turns it over to Brown right on cue. Underhand pass to O'Connell, long pass up ahead for Brown. Brown with the head of steam, she stops and shoots well short. And it's Strickland once again back the other way, up ahead for Empringham. Empringham, great game yesterday, draws the foul on the shot. That foul is on Nadia Barrington. And Barrington, second foul of the game early here. So not what you want to see for Holland College with your best player from yesterday already with a pair of fouls in the first 3 minutes of the opening quarter. Empringham good on the first shot to extend the lead to 2 as the teams struggling to find their footing offensively here, and I mentioned turnovers a couple times already. As it's been a turnover-filled weekend through the first 43 minutes of gameplay between these two teams. George into the middle for Leclerc. Leclerc into the corner for McDonald. McDonald for three, just off the mark. And Strickland up ahead quickly, picked off there by O'Connell. As once again, turnovers a story in the early stages of this one. Brown goes in, looks for a foul, and gets one. Mount Vincent yet to make a field goal in this game. All 5 of their points courtesy of the free throw. And mentioned it wasn't until about 2.5 minutes to go in the third quarter before Holland College had this opportunity that Nikiva Brown is taking advantage of. So some early foul shots here to try and cut into the lead. Second shot is off. Jenna Matheson with the rebound. Up ahead quickly, that's Lily Newberry. Has Kazadra Smith alone, but didn't see her. Smith was alone under the basket. Jenna Matheson rims out, and Brown with another defensive rebound. She'll try and push the pace here. Loses the handle, and it's Kazadra Smith picking her pocket from behind. Strickland for Empringham. Over to Newberry. Newberry falls, and looked like coincidental contact as O'Connell was just trying to get to some space, but the bonus is already in effect here for Mount Vincent. Newberry makes her first free throw. Very veteran Mount St. Vincent team, but still a lot of youth sprinkled throughout the lineup. As Newberry goes 2 for 2, so 7 points from the foul line for the Mystics, as O'Connell with her second foul will take a seat on the bench, and it's Kira Hector into the game for her. She was shaken up in the late stages of yesterday's game. Holland College maintaining possession here. And that pass picked off by Smith. Looked like she got a hand on Hector as the pass was incoming for her. It's the first field goal of the game for the Mystics as they extend their lead to 6. McDonald lost the handle on it. Lots of defensive pressure here by the Mystics, forcing another turnover. Looked like a lot of contact, but Empringham lost the handle. And it's Leclerc and Hector playing give and go. What a nice feed by Sophie Leclerc to get it to Kira Hector, who's on the board. And Newberry lost her balance, falls, and that's off of Nikiva Brown and out of bounds. Again, the bonus already in effect here with still over half the first quarter left to play. So Chris Connolly reminding his players, you got to be careful, no hands. Celine Sturkle into the game for Mount St. Vincent. She's their second leading scorer on the season, but didn't get much action yesterday. Again, in large part because of the breakout game of Kelsey Matheson as Victoria Strickland. Nice pick and roll play there as Leclerc up ahead quickly to Riley McDonald. She's going to push the pace. Uncontested layup. Nice feed by Leclerc to break the press. Couple nice passes from her in her first couple of minutes of action this afternoon as Smith now contested. Gets the shot and the foul. And we'll see the replay of it here as Smith just cutting through the defense, and you can see the left hand of Riley McDonald coming down into the head area of Smith. And I think the officials had signaled that it was Nikiva Brown. It's actually Riley McDonald who was that foul. Is Victoria Strickland for 3 off of another Hurricanes turnover. And Strickland called for the reach there.
Mystics foul number 25, Victoria Strickland. That is her second.
And we're getting the official stat change as definitely was Riley McDonald. She was pleading her case all the way from the bench. And Foul trouble all around now as Victoria Strickland, 2 fouls here. So the ref's not letting a lot go here in the opening stages of this game. Kira Hector now with the ball, gets it to Sophie Leclaire. Gets it to George. George maybe thought about a 3-point shot. Now Hector will take one. That cuts into the lead. Big 3-pointer there for Kira Hector into the game. And another turnover forced by Brown. Brown, she'll go in looking for maybe a foul call. Gets the basket though. Once again, the lack of shooting fouls for Holland College is a thing early in this game. Connolly hollering from the bench, no fouls to his Hurricanes team. And we got a travel called on Lily Newberry, so turnovers again. And if I sound like a broken record, it's because we had so many turnovers yesterday. 65 combined in yesterday's game. We'll maybe get a count after the first quarter here, but I think we're on pace to match that maybe as Brown draws the block. Maybe get a replay of that one if we can. And that might be a tough break for Empringham. It looked like she had her feet planted, but I'm sure the Hurricanes will take the call. Here's Robin Driscoll for 3. Driscoll cashes in. Cuts the lead down to 1. St. Vincent led by as many as 9 points, but a pair of 3-pointers by veteran players have cut into that. Sturkle has her pocket picked by Driscoll. Driscoll up ahead to George. Blocked there by Empringham. And that's going to be a foul on George. I think that's going to be the second foul on her in the game now. So a trio of Hurricane starters sitting at 2 fouls in Barrington, O'Connell, and now George. And with the bonus in effect, it'll be Elisa Bryce going to the line to shoot 2. Freshman player from Rothsay, New Brunswick. And Marin Klein into the game for George. Again, 3 starters now in a little bit of foul trouble. We're still 3:54 to go here in the first quarter. A long first quarter, lots of fouls. Lots of points as well. As Bryce goes 2 for 2 from the line. Brown crosses half court. Wanted Klein in the corner, gets it back up top for Hector. Hector over to Klein. Klein is one of the top 3-point shooters in the conference coming into this game, so watch for her maybe to get some looks from beyond the arc. 5 on the shot clock now. Hector goes down low. Leclaire, nice pass back out to Brown. Brown for 3, rims out. Rebound bounces around. It's finally Sarah Grucci who comes away with it. Gets it over to Empringham. Empringham watched there by Brown. Down low for Kelsey Matheson. Matheson makes good on that open look. As Brown looking to cross half court. Down 5 as we hit the 3-minute mark of the first quarter. Brown for Leclaire. Leclaire drives the lane, kicks it back out for Hector. Hector, quick release. Thought she was going to go 2 for 2. Unlucky bounce around the rim. As Grucci now calling out the plays. Once Matheson has her. Matheson kicks it out to Smith. Long range jumper. No good. Rebound bounces its way to Marin Klein. Hector, almost picked off by Kazadra Smith. There's Klein for 3. A little long on that attempt. Driscoll, that pass, trying to underhand it back to Klein, goes out of bounds. And now Riley McDonald will come back into the game.
We get around to the bench. Check that in number 4, Riley McDonald.
20-15 the score here. 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter. A lot of action in the first quarter. Again, a lot of whistles, a lot of turnovers, a lot of fouls. A lot of scoring here too as Matheson misses that shot. Hector, I don't think she saw Jenna Matheson there. pass somehow finds its way to Sophie Leclerc. Leclerc, backhand no-look pass, bounced to Klein, and Klein draws a foul on Jenna Matheson. And bonus in effect now for both teams, so Klein will go to the line to shoot a pair. Klein wide right on the first attempt. And tough break there for Klein from the line, but Hurricanes will get the offensive rebound. Hector for three. That's off the mark. Good hustle by McDonald there to try and keep it in, but just out of her reach. And the Mystics will take possession after another turnover. It's Bryce to Empriam. Most of the starting lineup back in the game for the Mystics. Smith now with it, in on Leclerc, doesn't get the roll off the rim. Good strong rebound there by Kira Hector. Possession will stay with the Mystics, but again, Kira Hector measuring in at 5'3", going up against 6'1" Kelsey Matheson. Good on Hector to come down with that one, giving up 10 inches to the Mystic forward. And Hector harassing Smith there. Great hustle from Hector on this shift. McDonald up ahead, has Leclerc, but called for the travel before she got the pass off.
Substitution time for the game. Robin Driscoll to the bench. Michaela Brown back in.
As Cassandra Smith with possession gets it to Matheson. Matheson. Rembrandt lost the handle on it, goes right to Riley McDonald again. McDonald up ahead for Leclerc. Leclerc, she'll cut through the middle. Uncontested to the lane goes Leclerc, but misses the layup. Good on her for seeing the lane and taking it out. Triple teamed is Elisa Bryce, and the jump ball will go to the Hurricanes. Good team defense by the Hurricanes there. Here's our replay. Again, Elisa Bryce, McDonald, Brown, and Leclerc all in the neighborhood. McDonald in for Leclerc, misses another layup. She goes to the ground hard, and it's going to be off of, I think, McDonald again and out of bounds. Tough shots in traffic there for Sophie Leclerc, still looking for her first points of the game. Has a couple nice assists though. As Bryce dishes it over to, that's Kaylee Whiffen, first time we're seeing her today. Matheson from just inside the free throw line misses, rebound tipped to Smith. Matheson over to Bryce, down low, and that's Leclerc just running into Whiffen. And Leclerc gets called for a foul. Again, Leclerc's been in the middle of a lot of action here in the first quarter at both ends of the court. And Whiffen can't make the shot. We've been stuck at 20-15 for a while. And we're gonna get a false start. Basket's gonna count.
Basket's good. Hurricanes take over.
So 21-15 now our score, breaking that temporary deadlock at 20-15. Final minute of the first quarter. Driscoll pops up for three off the back of the rim, and Mystics will take possession. About an 11-second difference between shot clock and game clock, so still a possession left here for Holland College in all likelihood. Shot goes up by Bryce, good on the long-range two-pointer. And now the Hurricanes with no shot clock turn it over. Thought that might be a backcourt violation maybe, but Mystics will keep possession. Matheson in, no shot. She's called for the travel. 9.5 seconds left. So 9.5 seconds for the Hurricanes to work with. Leclerc takes the inbound. She'll go in on Matheson. Getting it back out to Brown. Brown for three, wide of the mark, and the Mystics will kill the rest of the quarter. So the Hurricanes go into the first quarter break down 8. We'll give you an out-of-town score update in a moment when we come back for second quarter action here in Charlottetown. The Mystics up 23-15.
Well, you're there, each game's apparel, hoodies just $40, one for $5. Hats, t-shirts, and more, all available. The main card goes to the game's concession.
Approaching a half-minute left before the start of the second quarter. Told you we'd give you an out-of-town scoring update for a game that's important to Holland College in the standings. Crandall and Mount Allison. Mount Allison leading 51-39 at the end of the third. Had a 12-0 run to finish the quarter. So a big lead there for Mount A. And back to our action here in Charlottetown. Mentioned yesterday, 65 turnovers between the two teams, and not to alarm anyone, on pace guys everywhere will shudder. 21 turnovers combined in that first quarter, so we are on pace to shatter that. But 23-15 for the Mystics as we start the second quarter. Mystics with the first possession. Whipping down low for Bryce. Bryce in on Driscoll. Same lineup for both teams on the court to finish the quarter. Again, lots of starters from both teams and a bit of foul issues. Driscoll leaves it for Brown. Brown wanted Driscoll in the corner. That's off of Whiffen and out of bounds. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Marin Klein. Again, a good three-point shooter. Drives into the lane, ball stolen temporarily. Shot clock's winding down. LeClaire gets her hands on it, gets it up to McDonald, but that's going to be a shot clock violation. The tough defense by Kazadra Smith causing that. Now Smith will run point for the Mystics on this possession. Matheson, don't know if she was expecting that pass. I think she was looking to set up a screen. Gives it back over to Smith on the wing. And Smith called for the travel. Again, tough defense forcing turnovers at both ends.
Coming to the bench is Kelsey Matheson, checking back in is number 15, and Henry.
First time we're seeing Victoria Mumford this afternoon as Manti Vincent rolling deep into their bench early here. Mentioned on the broadcast yesterday as well, Holland College playing with a size disadvantage, in large part Ava Dormer measuring in at 6'2", not in the lineup due to injury over the last few weekends as Brown misses that. Nice feed on the rebound by Riley McDonald to dish that one off to Brown with an open look to cut into the deficit. Smith to Jenna Matheson. Matheson uses her dribble. Underhand shot, gets the roll off the backboard. Brings the lead up to 10. Brown with speed now. Looking for another left-hand layup, doesn't get that to go, and Brown and Smith battle for the rebound. Jump ball will go to Holland College, so good effort by Brown. Battling for the rebound, the two number 5s duking it out underneath the Holland basket. Inbound to LeClaire, watched closely by Emma Empringham. Back up top, it's McDonald. Everyone on the perimeter right now for Holland College. Now LeClaire cuts to the middle. Pass goes into the corner for Driscoll. Shot clock's winding down. Driscoll needs to get a shot up. Opted for the pass instead, and it's another shot clock violation. Second of the first 2 minutes of the quarter for Holland College. And down 10, you'd think you'd want to see them go up for more shots, especially when you have the range like some of the Hurricane shooters do. Shot by Strickland goes up. That's off the right side of the rim, but rebounded there by Newberry. Newberry bounce pass down low to Mumford. Mumford goes up with a layup. Rebounded there by Matheson. Draws the foul. Believe it's going to be Sophie LeClaire. It is on Sophie LeClaire. So after a foul-filled first quarter, tough to believe that 2.5 minutes in, we get our first foul in the second quarter. Jenna Matheson extends the lead now to 11. And gets the second one to go as well. And
this time I'm brought to you by Little Caesars Pizza. Little Caesars, hot ready.
Mount St. Vincent was waiting to see who had called the timeout. It's Mount St. Vincent's timeout as we get a score update from Moncton, where Mount Allison is up now by 11, 58-47. Late stages of the fourth quarter now. Again, a Mount A win with a Holland loss would essentially tie those teams in the standings as far as the records go, but worth noting again, by virtue of winning the season series 2-1, Holland does have the tiebreak over the Mounties. Holland came into the weekend sitting in third. Had a cushion over Mount A, but it looks like Mount A on their way to winning their 5th game in a row, so the Mounties catching fire at just the right time of season. Holland had lost 2 in a row before today. Still early in the second quarter here, 12-point Mystics lead, so not insurmountable for the Hurricanes. We know they can pour on the offense in a hurry when they need to. McDonald bobbled that pass, had Driscoll wide open in the corner. Now goes to the opposite corner for Hector. Hector off the back of the rim. And I think we're going to get a foul on Victoria Strickland. That's her 3rd of the first half. And the Mystics' leading scorer, likely the last we've seen of her in the first half, if I was to bet. Normally when you see a player with 3 fouls in the half, you don't see them again until the start of the second half. Once again, that was, just to go back to the foul by Strickland, that was Sophie LeClaire in the middle of the action. Yet to score a point in this game, but has been in the middle of a lot of action at both ends of the court. Now matched up against 6'2" Celine Sturkle as Hector for 3. Bobbled there by LeClaire, and that's off of her and out. Reigning Bluefield High School Female Athlete of the Year in her senior season last year. Basketball, badminton, soccer, track and field. Mystics with possession. That's Sturkle. Over to Bryce. Bryce gets a off-balance shot up. Took some contact there by Hector. And that'll be they'll call that a shooting foul. So Bryce to the line to shoot 2. And Bryce 2 for 2, so extends the lead now to 14. And the margin of victory for the Mystics yesterday was 16. McDonald all the way into the corner for Driscoll. Corner 3 for Robin Driscoll, no good. And once again, it's rebounded by LeClaire, who's thrown to the ground, wrestling for the ball with Celine Sturkle. First-year player against fifth-year player. And the jump ball will go to the Mystics. Again, we haven't seen Teresa George, Nadia Barrington, or Nevaeh O'Connell so far in the second quarter. They're all at 2 fouls for Holland College, and you wonder how Connolly's going to decide to deploy them over the balance of the last 6.5 minutes before halftime, as Hector with speed. Back up top for McDonald, over to Klein into the corner for Brown. Brown for 3, and Nakiva Brown struggling to find her traction offensively here, but makes good on the layup there, as once again it was LeClaire knocked to the ground. Newberry called for the carry. Not a call you see very often.
Hurricanes take over.
Nakiva Brown, mentioned her struggling offensively. She's 0 for 5 from beyond the arc so far today. As LeClaire cuts in, LeClaire on the scoreboard. Nice to see LeClaire get rewarded for some hard physical work in the paint at both ends. Cuts the lead to 10. And that pass by Newberry, well out of the reach of Elisa Bryce. Hector all the way across the court. Baseball pass there by Hector to Brown. Brown kicks it out from Aaron Klein, and yeah, it looked like that back heel just got a little too far on the sideline. Smith now for Grucci. Once again, Manson Vincent going deep into their bench here early on. With lots of players in foul trouble. Sturkle off balance layup. Gets it to drop. Brings the lead back up to 12 for Manson Vincent. Pass was behind LeClaire. Bounced right to Riley McDonald. She's in on Empringham, and I think McDonald maybe doing some good work to try and draw the foul there. Does just that. Empringham called for the foul, and McDonald will go to the line to shoot 2. McDonald good on her first attempt. And nice job by Riley McDonald going 2 for 2 from the line. And now we get Nevaeh O'Connell back into the game, so wonder if that means we're close to seeing Barrington and George coming back into the action as well. Smith and Brown, that's a good battle between 2 physical players. Sturkle called for the travel as she was trying to drive the lane after faking the 3. She doesn't like the call, but it looked like she got both feet moving before she started the dribble. O'Connell with possession now for Holland College. O'Connell cuts in, spins, shoots, blocked by Empringham, goes right to Sturkle. And Sturkle goes behind the back, gets it up ahead for Grucci. Grucci walked by Kira Hector. Hector got a hand in there and knocked it out of bounds. And Mount St. Vincent uses their
And with
last...
Canes down by 10, Mystics 33, Canes 23. Sign in for the Mystics.
Last time out of the half taken by Mount St. Vincent here, 4:44 on the clock. And I was just about to mention Kira Hector showing some high effort, high hustle work so far in this game. And our man Jordy in the booth with a Kira Hector highlight pack. 5 points, and you see all 5 of them going in those last 2 clips. And here she is again, giving up 10 inches to Kelsey Matheson, but out-muscled her for the jump ball rebound on that opportunity, and forcing a steal here on Cassandra Smith late in the first quarter. That led, I believe that led to some points by the Hurricanes at the other end. Down 10, but showing lots of hustle, lots of hard work throughout their lineup. And a very animated Hurricanes bench during that timeout as well. Lots of players, lots of coaches talking and giving feedback. Seem to be all positive. Circle inbounds to Bryce. Bryce down low for Smith. Smith back up top for Bryce. Bobbled it. Once Sturkle down low. Has her. Hand off to Cassandra Smith. Smith bumped there by Riley McDonald, and I think that's going to be a foul on McDonald. Hoop and the harm for Cassandra Smith.
Teams third in the corner. Smith on line to shoot 1.
And Smith long on the attempt, but gets her own rebound. Sturkle now for 3. And Celine Sturkle cashes in from beyond the arc. Brings the lead up to 15 for the Mystics. Klein looking for a 3 of her own. Thought she was going to get the shot to drop, but it rims out. Hurricanes not hesitating to throw it up from beyond the arc as Grucci from the free throw line gets that to go, and now it's the Hurricanes' turn to call timeout.
Timeout, Canes. This timeout brought to you by
Down 13. And we do have a final score from Moncton. Mount A victorious by a score of 66-54. So that 12-0 run to end the third quarter ends up being the difference there for the Garnet and Gold. And again, they've now won, I believe that's 5 wins in a row for Mount A. So maybe not a team you want to see get hot at this time of the year. Mounties were here a couple weeks ago. Very balanced team. A lot of players who can post up, down low, shoot from range. Very solid defensive team. But again, worth noting, the Hurricanes have the tiebreak over Mount A. So Mount A now improving to 9-6. Holland coming into this game 9-4. So also a game in hand for the Hurricanes. These Mystics you see on the court today, they are hosting the ACAA playoffs. Mystics come into this game at 12-2. In second place behind St. Thomas.
One of the Hurricanes side now, Mystics 40, Hurricanes 43. Hurricanes ball. Let's go! You
mentioned St. Thomas, they're off this weekend. That's where Holland College plays next Saturday and Sunday. St. Thomas has won 13 games in a row, so back-to-back weekends of matchups against top teams in the standings for the Hurricanes. Maybe a good way to get some good battle-tested action as Carissa George back in the game for the Hurricanes. Again, pair of fouls early in the first quarter. Haven't seen her since. LeClaire, left-handed layup, doesn't go. Matheson turns it over to Carissa George, making an imprint right away. Back into the action is Carissa George. Smith now with it for the Mystics. Over to Matheson. Matheson cuts to the hoop, takes some contact, and it's Jenna Matheson who's going to get the shooting foul. I believe that's the second foul now on Sophie Leclerc in this game.
Hurricanes foul number 9, Sophie Leclerc. That's her third, team's fourth of the quarter. She comes from bench, replaced by number 10, Robin Driscoll.
I believe the officials are trying to determine if that was a shooting foul or on the floor. It's the third foul on Sophie Leclerc in this game. Matheson good on the first attempt. Lead is now 16 for Mount St. Vincent. I believe that's their biggest so far today. Again, this was the margin of victory yesterday. Matheson goes 2 for 2. And Grucci knocks that inbound pass out of bounds.
Substitution again for the Canes.
And Brown back into the game after a short break. And I believe that was blown dead by the officials before the inbound attempt came in. George running the floor for the Canes, knocked away by Jenna Matheson.
Matheson pushes it out of bounds for Canes ball.
Inbound picked off there by Jenna Matheson. Another turnover for the Hurricanes offensively, and Cassandra Smith makes them pay at the other end. Lead is now 19 for the Mystics, as this one could be getting away from the Hurricanes here. I may have spoken too soon. Riley McDonald, big corner three. That'll cut into the deficit a little bit. As the Mystics, again, with a lot of bench players on the court here over the last couple of days. Kelsey Matheson, second start of the season for her. Had a big game yesterday. Up top, it's Bryce. Manages to get around George, stripped by McDonald. She doesn't like the call. It looked like it was all ball. Replay would suggest that McDonald might have a case there. It's her third foul of the game now. Bryce good on her first attempt. Lead back up to 17 for the Mystics. And Bryce makes it 18. Mystics still applying a bit of pressure in the offensive court. Brown shoulders her way in, draws the foul on Kelsey Matheson. And Brown will have 2 tries to cut into the lead. 2.5 minutes before halftime. Bonus is in effect for the Mystics as well. So an advantage there for the visitors. And Brown good on the second attempt, so lead back to 17 for Mount St. Vincent. And that pass out of the reach of Alyssa Bryce. It's another turnover. Might just need to record me saying another turnover and just loop it. Looks like it might have been another one there, but Cassandra Smith had last touch. Mystics bench doesn't like it, but as we get a warning assessed to Mount St. Vincent bench. A lot of the players were upset with the call. Looked like over 3/4 of their entire sideline was up. So they get a stern warning from the officials here. Pass knocked away, and it's another turnover forced by Jenna Matheson. Into the corner, Cassandra Smith, long range 2, cashes in. Once again, the Mystics taking advantage of Hurricane turnovers as Nikiva Brown up ahead quickly over half court. Hector for three off the back of the rim. Nevea O'Connell with a good strong rebound for the diminutive Hurricane as Hector another three shot. That's off the mark. Again, credit the Hurricanes for trying. Another high effort play by Hector. Looked like she batted the ball off of Matheson to try and get it, and we're going to get a quick replay here. Matheson ends up getting called for a foul. As you can see, she's not really making an effort there to go for the ball. And saw Hector in a brief moment of discomfort. Again, she had a fairly serious knee injury 2 years ago. Sat out most of last season as a result, and that's a tough break there. Might have to get the magnifying glass out for that one. Nikiva Brown called for the backcourt violation, and just out of the view of our camera as well. It was close either way, so tough break for the Hurricanes there. Zadra Smith cutting to the hoop, into the corner for Bryce, three-pointer off the back of the rim, rebounded there by Brown. Minute and a half to go before halftime. Mystics up by 19. Brown lost the handle, and that's a maybe dangerous play there as Brown in some serious discomfort after a hard collision with a couple of Mystics players. Sarah Grucci being the last one. Grucci's called for the foul on it as Brown in some discomfort favoring her right shoulder, as it looked like that's what took the brunt of the contact with Grucci. And she'll go straight to the training table to get looked at, and Maren Klein into the game will go to the line to shoot too. So Klein again, one of the best distance shooters in the league. And into the game for Brown, goes 2 for 2 from the line. But a lot of concern for Holland College with Brown getting looked at. You know, multitude of players in some foul trouble for the Hurricanes. Kelsey Matheson backs in, finds Jenna Matheson, goes up for the layup. Rebound knocked out of bounds by George. Again, the Mathesons, don't want to make an assumption, believe they're sisters. They're both from Halifax. 6 foot and 6'1" respectively, putting in some work in the paint here. Again, big size advantage on the court for the Mystics right now. As Matheson, into the middle for Matheson, draws a pretty obvious foul call there. A lot of contact, might have been incidental. Carissa George at 5'8", currently the tallest Hurricane on the court. Again, Nadia Barrington at 2 fouls. You have Sophie Leclerc at 3. Ava Dormer out of the lineup. Those are really the players with height that the Hurricanes have at their disposal this year. As Matheson goes 2 for 2 again, as the Mystics hit 50 on the game. 19-point lead with a minute to go before halftime. George looking for O'Connell, batted away by Smith. Down to George. George into the corner for Klein. Klein up for 3, off the front of the rim, and again, Smith knocks it out of bounds. Good battle again by 5'3" Kira Hector, looking for rebounds in the paint. O'Connell inbounds. That's picked off neatly by Matheson, but given right back to the Hurricanes. Kira Hector with the steal. Driscoll into the corner for Klein. Same spot from a moment ago. That time! Cashes in. Cuts the lead to 16. Half minute to go before halftime. Zadra Smith bobbled it. Gets it to Jenna Matheson. Baseline jumper. Off the rim. Good box out by Driscoll. Driscoll almost lost the handle on it. Gets it up ahead to O'Connell. Jenna Matheson was looking for it. Here's Klein again. Fakes the shot. Cuts in, layup for Klein, draws the foul. Maren Klein putting in some work here in the second quarter, as you see her getting the foul on Elisa Bryce. As Klein, again, cutting into the deficit, 14.6 seconds on the game clock. And the good shot there by Klein will turn the shot clock off. So the Mystics will have last possession, up 14. Hurricanes bench yelling no fouls. Again, bonus in effect. Smith lost the handle, somehow gets to Jenna Matheson. Shot, I think Maren Klein got a hand on it. And that will finish off the first half. So good fight by the Hurricanes. Again, it's a 14-point deficit, but feels like it could be closer. We'll see what adjustments these two teams make. We'll get a full statistical breakdown of the opening 20 minutes. Step aside from the mic for a little bit and rejoin you in about 14 minutes time for the start of the second half here in Charlottetown.
Shots, they got a layup, foul shot, and a three-pointer. It's brought to you by Holland College Student Association. Today's halftime show brought to you by Holland College Student Association. First up is a layup. Should be easy, obviously practice for these kids. No pressure with the crowd watching them. Down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, begin. All right, now they gotta make the foul shot from the free throw line. Oh, struggle there. Both girls missing from the free throw line. That's really good sign. Spencer having the lead. Ray Morris playing catch up. She's down with the three-point line. Oh, she's got it. Maria Morris 6-3. She takes the victory. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for the contestants here at the Holland College Student Association halftime contest.
Welcome back to Charlottetown, ladies and gentlemen, as we get set for third quarter action between the Mystics and Hurricanes here in some Super Bowl Sunday afternoon ACAA basketball action. There you see the stats through the opening 20 minutes. Again, that turnovers number at the bottom, not where either team wants it to be. Again, we saw 65 turnovers between these two teams in yesterday's game. We're already over halfway there again today. Worth noting, you see the free throw percentages there. Mount St. Vincent shooting 20 of 24 from the free throw line, so 40% of their first half points coming from the free throw line. Holland College shooting 8 for 12 from the free throw line. 4 for 22 from beyond the arc are the Hurricanes. And they're going to need some more three-point shots if they want to get back into this one. Down 14. Zadra Smith with a game-high 11 points in the first half for the Mystics. Nikiva Brown with 8 leads the Hurricanes. She was shaken up at the end of the second quarter. Looks to be okay on the Holland College bench, but not on the floor to start the half. And it's worth noting, too, Nadia Barrington, who you see inbounding the ball there, she had 16 points and 9 rebounds in yesterday's game. Only 3 minutes played in that first half. She's had 2 fouls in the game. Gets the ball underneath there, dishes it out to George. George, long range 2. Canes run the board early here in the third quarter, thanks to Carissa George. Quiet first half for her. Again, only 10 minutes played. So she's sitting at 2 fouls. Strickland, she's got 3 fouls for the Mystics. See her shoving with George there, gets it to Empringham. Empringham in on Barrington. Rebounded there by Matheson, and Kelsey Matheson makes good on that. And Holland College will try and counter once again. George running point. Has Barrington cutting through the middle, gives it to O'Connell for 3. Off the back of the rim, rebounded strongly there by Barrington. Poked away from her by Jenna Matheson. Matheson has a game-high 3 steals in this one. Also a game-high 5 rebounds for Jenna Matheson. Barrington into the net. Called for a travel as Matheson and Empringham closed down on her defensively. Strickland only played 6 minutes in the first half, again with 3 fouls. Knocked away there by Riley McDonald. Nice defensive play there. McDonald all over the stat sheet in the first half. 7 points, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, 6 turnovers, and 3 fouls. Zadra Smith, watched there by McDonald. Nice spin move by Smith. And they're going to call that a shooting foul. I thought the foul came before the shot went up. They do call it a shooting foul. And that's the 4th foul on Riley McDonald. So we're not likely to see her again here in the third quarter. Kira Hector back into the game for her. As Smith good on the free throw. George and Robin Driscoll on the court for the Hurricanes. There's Kira Hector in and out of her hands. And a minute and a half into the third quarter, the Mystics with another stop defensively. Matheson, and they're going to call O'Connell for the reach. Looked like she just jumped in front of the passing lane. Tough break for O'Connell. Her 3rd foul of the game. Quick fix to the shot clock as Strickland looking to inbound to Matheson. Matheson down low for Jenna Matheson. Bobbles it. turned over a couple times, and now it's Smith from the free throw line puts it home. As Barrington ahead with it for Holland College. Nadia Barrington for Driscoll. Driscoll watched by Empringham. She stops and shoots from the corner of the key. That's off the mark. Rebounded there by Strickland. And Jenna Matheson runs the floor, misses the layup, and George pushes it up ahead for O'Connell. Nice feed by George, but O'Connell misses the layup, and the Mystics are back the other way quickly again. Matheson now up top for Smith. Smith had a quiet game yesterday, but has had a very strong game offensively and defensively here. Empringham short of the mark. Matheson with the rebound. Knocked away from her there by Driscoll. Scrambly play here in the Mystic zone. Smith looking for Matheson again. Bumped there by O'Connell, and I don't think there's going to be any argument about the foul call on that one, but that is the fourth foul now on Nevaeh O'Connell as the individual foul troubles continue to pile up here for the Hurricanes. And we mentioned it coming out of halftime, 24 free throw attempts for the Mystics in the first half. Already a flurry of them here in the third quarter. Matheson rims out on the second attempt, and it's going to be a foul on Kazadra Smith. Looked like she initiated a little bit of contact into the back of Robin Driscoll, so Smith will check out in favor of Elisa Bryce. George up ahead for Barrington. Hector into the corner. Nice no-look feed by Hector to Driscoll, but Driscoll doesn't capitalize on the shot. And once again, it's Kira Hector on the floor battling for the ball along with Maren Klein. Jump ball will be awarded to Mount St. Vincent, thanks to the possession arrow. And Victoria Strickland ahead for Bryce. Bryce harassed there by Hector. Hector's had a really good defensive game for the Hurricanes. Matheson gets around Driscoll. Can't get around the basket, though, and it's Barrington quickly back the other way. She covers a lot of ground in a hurry. Now here's Hector for three. Kira Hector rims out. Klein unable to corral the rebound as Empringham gets it up ahead for Matheson. Swings it over to Matheson up ahead for Bryce. Into the corner for Strickland, and the Mystics' leading shooter into double digits in points now thanks to another three-pointer by the fifth-year player from St. John's, Newfoundland. Barrington bobbles it, gets it over to George. George for Klein, thought about a three-pointer, now takes one. Maybe looking to draw a foul there as that shot was well off the mark by Maren Klein. Bryce down low for Matheson. Matheson backing in on Barrington. Barrington gets the rebound after the miss by Matheson. And once again, Barrington looking to go end to end. Swings it over for Driscoll. Stops up, gets it back for George. Three-point shot. Krista George rims out. Klein gets the rebound. Foul finally called on Jenna Matheson.
This is foul number 21, Jenna Matheson.
And subs incoming from Mount St. Vincent. And for the Hurricanes as well.
Second player checking in, Nadia Barrington, coming to the bench for the Hurricanes.
It's a 23-point Mystic lead now. Again, they won by 16 here yesterday. Klein turns it over. Nice defensive pressure there by Alyssa Bryce. As Lily Newberry in on Hector. Newberry trying to direct traffic, almost lost the handle on it. Big screen set there by Matheson. Her and Hector both go to the floor as the shot by Newberry goes up. Newberry does well to keep it in play, but Driscoll almost lost the handle on it. Now George draws a foul on Kelsey Matheson. And it'll be Hurricanes ball. still in the defensive court. As Matheson now off for the Mystics. Hector to Leclerc. Leclerc at the top of the three-point line, swings it over to George. George steps in, kicks it back out for Driscoll. Driscoll for three. And once again, you got to credit the Hurricanes for having confidence in their three-point shot, but the percentage not looking great right now. Bryce down low, batted away by Driscoll. Read that play perfectly. And got a hand in the lane. Robin Driscoll, a third-year player from Newfoundland. One of only a handful of veterans on this Hurricanes team. It's Driscoll and Hector in their third year, and everyone else in their first or second with the program. Bryce harassed there by George. Ball finds its way into Sturkle's hands. Shot goes up. Might have been.
Shot clock violation.
I was going to say, it looked like the shot went up after the buzzer started to go. So the shot clock violation. Cue it up, Jordy. It's another turnover. As George turns it over again to Sturkle. Newberry harassed there by Klein. Gets it back to Empringham. Empringham looking for Sturkle down low. Sturkle muscles her way in. Gets the layup. And using that 6'2" frame to get good body position in tight, Celine Sturkle, fifth-year player. Pass in for Leclerc. Leclerc double teamed on the baseline. Still with possession. Gets it back to Hector. What an effort play by Leclerc. When all seemed lost is now George. Back for Klein. Blocked there by Empringham. Possession will stay with the Hurricanes. .14 on the shot clock. Inbounded Sturkle over top of Leclerc. Leclerc somehow comes away with it. Off balance layup doesn't go. And once again, it's Kira Hector getting in the passing lane. Hector keeps it in play. Tight ropes the sideline. And tough break for the Hurricanes there. Needed to fix the shot clock, but it looked like Marin Klein was just about to go up for a three-point shot from the corner. And Hurricanes will call a timeout. Maybe we'll try and get that play by Hector queued up on a replay here coming up for you. Again, here you see Hector tight ropes the sideline, just throws it almost blindly back in. I don't know if she knew Leclerc was there or not, but still a great play. And there you see the stoppage, and believe it was to fix the shot clock. Don't know if it reset too much or too early, but again, a tough break for the Hurricanes when it looked like Marin Klein was just setting up an open look for a three. And looking at the replay again, it did look like the shot clock reset after that acrobatic play by Hector. So the Hurricanes have possession coming out of the timeout. They face a 25-point deficit. We get some uniform adjustments for both teams coming out of the timeout. Hector over to Barrington, back to Hector, over to Klein. Looking for Leclerc in the paint. Leclerc kicks it out now for George. George, bounce pass for Leclerc. Leclerc gets around Newberry, reverse Layup beats the buzzer. What a play by Sophie Leclaire. Makes the deficit 23 now. As we approach the 3-minute mark of the third quarter. Sturkle with it behind the three-point line. Leaves it for Bryce. Bryce behind the back. Now from the corner of the key off the back of the rim. Rebounded there by Klein. Klein up ahead for Barrington. Barrington, she drives the paint. Gets a nice underhand layup to go. Cutting into the deficit again. Newberry now. Defensive pressure being applied, and Newberry throws it away. And referees needed a little bit of assistance figuring that one out, but it is Hurricanes' ball as the pass sailed directly out of bounds. George up ahead for Barrington, over to Hector. Klein now, lined up a three, now walks into the baseline. She looks for a reverse layup. I think she was just throwing up a prayer at that point, but it ended up working out as we get a foul call on Zadra Smith. She's now up to 3 fouls in the game. And Klein hits that off the back of the rim. Tough break there for the rookie from Halifax. Good on the second attempt, though. Cuts the lead to 20. 2.5 to go in the third quarter. Sturkle now. Over to Grucci. Grucci jump shot misses, and it's right back Sturkle. Long range three for Celine Sturkle. Her second of the game. Brings the lead back up to 23 for the visiting Mystics. Hector to Klein. Klein right back to Hector. Into the corner for George. She lines up a three. That misses. Klein back to Hector. Another three-point shot as both teams starting to throw up the three-point attempts now. Sturkle in on Barrington. Blocked there by the league leader, Nadia Barrington. As Barrington, she'll slice in on Grucci. Another underhand layup on the break by Nadia Barrington. As lots of collisions happening here in the late stages of the third quarter. Under a minute and a half to go in the quarter. Empringham to Sturkle. Sturkle, another three-point shot. Third of the game for Celine Sturkle. As George across half court. Over to Barrington. Barrington all the way into the corner for Leclaire. Leclaire gets around Sturkle. Gets her own rebound. Knocked away from her, though, by Strickland. And Strickland, yeah, Leclaire. They're going to call her for... They're going to call her for unsportsmanlike. Looked like Leclaire was just reaching to try and get position. Definitely no argument from her about the foul, but I'm not sure about the unsportsmanlike aspect of it. So that means Strickland will get 2 free throws and then a bonus possession here for the Mystics. Fourth foul of the game on Leclaire, the first-year player from Cornwall here in PDI.
Coming to the bench, number 9. Still got the player back in is Robert Driscoll. Mystics ball, 14 seconds on the shot clock.
Matheson looking for Strickland down low. It's batted away by George, but right to Sturkle, and Sturkle cashes in. As now we get Carissa George up ahead for the Hurricanes. Shot goes up and misses, and rebounded by Strickland. Smith up ahead to Sturkle again. Sturkle. Bounce pass into the middle, knocked away by guess who, Kira Hector.
of the Hurricanes out of bounds.
He's been all over the court
Mystics ball.
for the Hurricanes in this game, getting a lot of minutes today. Matheson now battling Hector. Again, 10-inch difference between these two players. Don't know what the call is, but it's going to be Hurricanes ball. I believe it's a key violation.
Mystics, Hurricanes possession.
Hector back for George. Almost a backcourt violation on that pass. Driscoll now, 5 seconds left in the quarter. And here's Klein for three at the buzzer. Got the shot off, but wide of the mark. So at the end of the third quarter, Mount St. Vincent with a commanding 73-45 lead. As Jordy rolls through some of the third quarter highlights, we'll step aside from the mic and rejoin you momentarily for fourth quarter action in Charlottetown. Moments away from the fourth quarter here again, Mount St. Vincent up to a commanding 73-45 lead over Holland College. Kazadra Smith, 16 points. Celine Sturkle, 15. She's 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. She's yet to miss a shot in the game. Victoria Strickland with 12 and Alyssa Bryce, 10 points off the bench for Mount St. Vincent. And for Holland College, it's Maren Klein and Nikiva Brown, each with 8 points. Hurricanes with the first possession. Klein with it. Screen set by LeClaire, dishes it off to George. George back for Klein. Klein down low for LeClaire. LeClaire, she'll cut in, tries to get it back to Klein. Klein, she'll cut into the middle. Off balance, shot goes up, misses, and Smith corrals the rebound for the Mystics. Up ahead for Sturkle. And the hot streak comes to an end there. Commentators jinx gets her as she misses that three-point shot. Barrington for McDonald. McDonald into the corner for LeClaire. Back up top for George. George bounce pass for McDonald. Klein now looking for Barrington down low. Knocked away from her. George calmly gets it back. She'll go up with a shot. Off the backboard, rebounded by Kelsey Matheson. Now it's Smith up ahead for Strickland. Smith now for the Mystics. Matheson down low for Sturkle. Blocked there, but from behind by Riley McDonald. Sturkle wanted a foul. Looked like that was all ball for McDonald. Barrington, nice pass to LeClaire, kicks it out for Klein. Klein for three! And it's another assist for Sophie LeClaire. That's a handful for her in this game. Make that 4 assists for LeClaire. As Strickland with another basket for the Mystics. LeClaire with it at the top. In on Empringham, dishes it off to Barrington. Barrington for three. That's no good. Good battle on the rebound by George, though, to keep possession for the Canes, but George turns it over. Was looking for Leclerc underneath. Strickland steps back. Calmly deposits a long-range 2. Brings the lead up to 29 for Mount St. Vincent. George bounce pass to Leclerc. Leclerc gets around Sturkle, bounce pass for George, baseline jumper, rattles around the rim, and Strickland takes the rebound away. Tough break for George there, and now George called for the block. Now Kira Hector back in the game. Worth noting, coming into this game, she only averaged about 10 minutes a game. Has 20 minutes of action in the first 3 quarters, so heavy minutes here for Hector. But again, with injuries and foul trouble plaguing the Hurricanes in this one. Again, yet to see Nakiva Brown in the second half after injuring what appeared to be her shoulder in the late stages of the second quarter. Victoria Strickland down low to Empringham. Empringham had a quiet game so far, but makes good on that spin and shoot there. Big game for her yesterday, much quieter today. Leclerc takes the pass for McDonald. Nice crossover a couple times to get around Matheson. Goes up stripped by Strickland and out of bounds. Into the corner goes Barrington on the inbound. Barrington trying to swing it back to McDonald, picked off there by Kaylee Whiffen. Back for Strickland. Strickland. Still 4 starters on the court for the Mystics right now. As you see Strickland swatting at George there. She goes in. It'll be a foul before the shot. And Strickland voicing her displeasure. I think she wants the shooting foul, but again, up 31. And down to Jenna Matheson. Matheson finds Empringham down low. Unable to cash in that time. Able to get the rebound. Knocked away by Leclerc. Gives it right to Jenna Matheson, who draws the hoop and the harm. And I think that's going to be the 5th foul of the game on Riley McDonald. And Maren Klein will come into the game as McDonald, her afternoon is done. Matheson cashes in on the 3-point play. George into the middle for Barrington. Barrington slices in, gets a shot and draws the foul. Believe it's going to be Victoria Strickland. Called for the foul. It's her 4th of the game.
Mystics foul number 25, Victoria Strickland. That is her 4th, team's first in the quarter. She comes from the bench, replaced by number 4, Victoria Mumford. Barrington to the line to shoot 2.
And Barrington, good on her first attempt. Interesting nugget pre-game from one of the Hurricanes assistant coaches, Jay Mingro, and longtime ACAA coach. Barrington's father, David, played in the ACAA for Mount A about 25 years ago. So it's in her bloodline, and that is Mumford stepping out of bounds for the Mystics. Barrington's had a strong weekend, despite not playing a lot of minutes here this afternoon. She's got 6 points here today after 16 yesterday. Hector into the corner for Klein, down low for Barrington. Barrington back up top for George. George, she cuts in, unable to make the shot drop, and that's going to be off of Mumford, excuse me. Good defense pressure applied by Maren Klein. The rookie, no quit in her game, down 33. As that inbound by Barrington picked off by Empringham. Here's Kazadra Smith, goes up with it, draws the foul. I think that's going to be Hector.
Hurricanes foul to number 2,
Kira Hector, third foul of the game. She's been everywhere in this one. Again, playing heavy minutes because of some early foul trouble and injuries to some of the Hurricanes' key players. Smith, one of 3 starters still on the court for the Mystics. As that pass in and out of the hands of Hector. And the Mystics will take over after another turnover. That's Mumford looking to get around Klein. Hands it off to Smith. Smith goes up, draws another foul. And once again, the Mystics will go to the line to shoot 2. And the bonus now in effect with 5.5 minutes to go. So pretty easy to tell fouls have been an issue for the Hurricanes over the course of the weekend, as well as turnovers. 2 things they will definitely need to clean up before traveling to Fredericton next weekend to take on first place St. Thomas. Smith good on her first and second attempts. George to Barrington. Barrington into the corner for O'Connell. O'Connell for 3. Neve O'Connell good from the corner. And the lead's back to 33 for the Mystics. Kelsey Matheson back on the court for the Mystics. Xavier Smith. Shot clock winding down. Smith looking for an opening. Spins around a couple of Hurricanes players. Goes up with a shot. Looked like Barrington might have got a hand on that. Be interesting to see if they record that as a block. Barrington over to George. George bounce pass in for LeClaire. LeClaire back up top for George. George finds a lane. Kicks it over to Barrington from the corner for 3. A little long. Matheson with the rebound up ahead for Bella Hines. Hines now, Jenna Matheson back for Hines. Watched there by LeClaire. Matheson stripped out of her hands by Neve O'Connell, Mentioned St. Thomas next weekend for the Hurricanes. Tommy's only loss of the year. Their first game of the year, and it was against these Mystics. Been on a 13-game tear since. LeClaire fakes the shot, gets around Hines. Nice move around Matheson. Sophie LeClaire, nice move to get the layup home. Whiffen now for Matheson. Only 2 starters in the game for the Mystics now. As Mumford goes up with the shot, was a little too close to the basket. As O'Connell away with it for the Hurricanes. Looking for something to develop. Finds Barrington in the middle. Nice strong pass by O'Connell. Klein now takes the pass. Into the corner for LeClaire. LeClaire spins around Hines. Gets around Matheson again, but Matheson at the last second got her hand in there and stripped it away. And Zadra Smith. In on past George. Blocked by Barrington. League leader in blocks, has at least a couple here today. Barrington over to Klein. Klein for 3. Rattles around the rim, and the Hurricanes still getting lots of open looks from beyond the arc here late in the game. Matheson watched by LeClaire. Nice pass for Cassandra Smith. She kicks it back out for Mumford. Mumford long range 2, no good. And O'Connell. Mumford crashing to get her own rebound and called for the foul as Hallie Williams now in the game, seeing her first action of the weekend. Williams has only played in 6 games this year, averaging just over a minute a game. Wonder if we'll see her for the last 2:54 here. And not sure what the stoppage was for. Might have been to fix the clock. 2:53 left here in the game.
Hurricane substitution.
Mystics up by 31. But maybe the Hurricanes now just looking for something to build on going into next week. Again, what should be another tough couple of games against top-ranked St. Thomas. LeClaire thought about a three-point shot. Nice feed into Carissa George, and the Mystics are going to call timeout with 2.5 minutes to go, up 31.
Timeout Mystics. This time brought to you by the Factory Cookout.
As we now bring you the Celine Sturkle highlights from the game. And it wasn't until early in the fourth quarter that she actually missed a shot, as you see her taking a couple here. That's Nadia Barrington with a nice underhand layup in the third. There's Sturkle from range again. And one of the impressive things about the women's game in ACAA basketball, I've followed it for a long time growing up, watching it growing up in Sackville, watching the Mounties and all of the other ACAA schools roll into town. It used to be that when you had someone who was 6'2", they would post up under the net, and that's just where they were. But now you see players like Celine Sturkle for Mount St. Vincent, 6'2", but jacking up threes and cashing in on them as well. Mumford ahead with it now for the Mystics. To Matheson. Matheson leaves it for Hines. Hines over to Whiffen. Whiffen hands it off to Mumford. Mumford with the shot clock winding down. Matheson well outside the key, gets it down low. Hines turns it over to Nevaeh O'Connell. And O'Connell in on Grucci. Spinning layup by Nevaeh O'Connell gets it to drop. And that'll cut into the deficit with 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Mumford over to Whiffen. Whiffen for Grucci. Grucci watched there by George. Nice steal by Carissa George. How many times have we seen her do that in her 2 years with the Hurricanes? As she goes end to end to cut into the deficit again. So the Hurricanes doing work late here to cut into the lead. Another steal there by LeClaire as Hallie Williams got her hand in the passing lane. Now O'Connell with another chance to cut into the lead. Under a minute and a half to go in the fourth. O'Connell picks up the dribble, taken away by Hines. She read the pass going down low to Hallie Williams. And back down low the other way, that's Whiffen. She'll draw the hoop and the harm.
Hurricanes foul with number 1, Mary Klein, that's her second. That's it, Whiffen on the line to shoot 1.
And reminder, stay tuned 20 minutes after the conclusion of this game for men's action between these two schools as Grucci puts back the rebound opportunity. Mentioned Holland College on the road next weekend, Saturday and Sunday at St. Thomas. They'll return home February 21st and 22nd against UNBSJ in their final 2 home games and games of the regular season. Final minute now. Mount St. Vincent with a comfortable 29-point lead. Kelsey Matheson in on LeClaire, goes up with a shot. Gets it to drop, and again, maybe that's LeClaire not wanting to take her 5th foul of the game. Lead back up to 31 for the Mystics. Nice pass there by Hector to Klein. Into the middle for LeClaire. LeClaire goes up with another shot. Layup off the backboard, and now Mount St. Vincent. And I think they're just going to let the clock run out here. Final 10 seconds. Mount St. Vincent cruising to a 91-60 win, a sweep of the Hurricanes here in Charlottetown. Hurricanes will once again drop into a tie for third now with Mount A, with the game at hand and the tiebreak advantage over the Mounties. Reminder to stay tuned. About 20 minutes from now, men's action coming your way between the Mystics and the Hurricanes. Tune back into Hurricanes TV and ACAA TV 2 weeks from now. Saturday and Sunday, the Hurricanes will play their final 2 regular season games against UNBSJ. Thanks for spending some of your Sunday with us. We'll see you in 20 minutes for the men's game. On behalf of Jordy, I'm Ray. Thanks for tuning in and spending some of your Sunday with us.